Okay, that's good. All right, and the last product, so this one with the power drive, the LinearDrive is a different embodiment of the same product, but geared towards constant voltage LEDs. So low-powered LEDs, but lots of them. So in the LinearDrive version, again, there's 4-channel outputs with up to 2 amps per channel of constant voltage. So these are kind of things people use with rope lights, particularly sort of signage type applications. The output can be selected at 24 or 12 volts DC. Again, all the protocols available to it, the same user interface, universal input voltage and the same high efficiency, and 16-bit dimming resolution. Again, independent or OEM type form factors. So again, there tended to be in the market for low power linear LEDs, there tended to be a lot of solutions that required a remote power supply and then a separate driver unit, which you end up with a high cost system. This integrates it all into one unit. Now, okay, it's 100 watts in total power, but that's actually, for the size, is quite an impressive power to size performance, which we hope will find uses in a lot of linear type rope light applications. So the core features are the same as the previous product, but geared towards constant voltage. So I'll not ramble on too long about the product, and I'll take any questions on that variant.
Cost?
Cost depends obviously on the volume, but between starting price on this version is between 80 to 160 euros.
Yeah, going back to the last one, what was the cost on that?
On the
one before?
Similar cost structure, yeah.
Why do you feel that this product represents an innovative step over what's out there at the moment?
Well, at the moment you've got there's a vast array of LEDs coming to the market, and if you're a fixture manufacturer, it tends to be everything on this to do with most of the variables with LEDs incorporated in one drive unit. So at the moment, yes, you can get a driver that will drive 1,000 milliamp LEDs, but then if you want a different driver to do 350 milliamp, you've got to buy yet another product. If you can have a 1 to 10 volt control input, but then you'll have another version with a DMX control input. So this driver addresses all available output current options and most available common control input options in one unit. So it's incredibly flexible.
So you're saying that across a lot of different devices, you can bring them all down to one consistent, to one single driver that's then presumably easier to control if you're addressing those units.
Yeah, conventionally you probably need about 20 to 30 different stock numbers to cope with the array of LEDs that are on the market. So if you're a manufacturer, this brings it down to one unit.
Right. And can you mix and match within the unit or not?
Yeah, I mean if it's on DMX, obviously it'll work with anyone's DMX input. Right. It'll work with anyone's DALI input. Obviously we hope you'll use our drivers, but you can mix a linear-based drive solution with a constant current-based drive solution, and it's the same interface. Everything looks the same. It's the same form factors.
Thank you.
As far as you know, is there anyone else making anything like this, or is this unique?
So far, we've seen it's unique. Everything built into one driver is pretty unique at the moment. In that type envelope. There's people who'll sell you a bag of bits you can put together yourself, but this is a pretty unique unit.
You anyway need a driver for a certain amount of LEDs, and now you're saying that you can now have one model, but do you think for green values, is it better to have one model serving all, or how do you save environment for running one model instead of several models?
Okay, now you could be right. Normally you would say in conventional drivers, it's if you've got 10 watts of LEDs, you pick a 10 watt driver, you'll get higher efficiency than running one LED on a 10 watt driver. But what we've done a lot of work to do is to make sure we've got high efficiency across a wide load range. So if we say 100 watts of LEDs, you will get 90% efficiency driving it from 50 watts to 100 watts, which is, a lot of the other LED drivers on there, some of them efficiency-wise are as low as 65%. But some people, particularly in entertainment-type markets, don't look at the energy efficiency as much as, say, in white light applications where we're trying to comply with regulations.
Can you combine different types of LEDs on the output side as well as control on the input side?
Yeah, you can do it. So across the 4 channels, you could have one channel running at 350 milliamps and another channel running at an amp, providing you don't obviously exceed the maximum limits for the driver.
And you're still...
Yeah. Within the 50 to 100% load, you'll get the 90% efficiency. They're manufactured in China because that's where most people manufacture electronics. Designed in the US and the EU. So the company operates between 2 bases there. But the supply chain is controlled from the Netherlands, so it's very tightly controlled in terms of quality and performance. And also they carry approvals, so to go with that, there's a lot of controls go into that. So.
Trying not to be over familiar with EU law, on what basis is PVC being banned? Is it environmental or is it...
No, it's just always been in the clause of 60598, the Luminaire standard. Right. It's just they don't like PVC outdoors suffers from UV degradation. But again, it's this crossover going from entertainment to architectural lighting. People have just grabbed technology from one field and applying it to something that's going to hopefully be installed for a long time. So when I speak to lighting designers, they have the kind of confidence in that product that it will be around, at least as long as the LEDs last. It's guaranteed for 5 years, but it's a Cree-based LED product. Okay, no problem.
This is aimed at the installation market.
On the which product on the
controllers?
Yes. Well, it's both markets. There's OEM and installations, depending on how people go about the products.
I'm just kind of questioning the cost effectiveness of it, because surely if you're installing something permanently,
yep,
you know what input you're going to use and you know what output you're going to use. So why would you want a product that has 10 different inputs when you know you're installing something for, say, 100 years? And why would you need a dozen different inputs?
It depends, actually. The cost of deploying different control inputs isn't a huge cost.
So it's not more cost effective to just have one unit that is dedicated the in and the out that you need?
If you were producing, say, tens of thousands of units that were always going to be DMX, then that's probably more cost effective. But what we find now is people are going out and doing some installations are definitely DMX, and some installations, now you've got you've got Dali color coming onto the scene. But traditional buildings like Dali, entertainment industry likes DMX. Now, if you're producing a product, so okay, as an installer, yes, you can take your bag along and select which bit. But if it's an OEM version, it's embedded in the product. You have to carry, a whole another set of stock numbers to cope with the Dali option. So this goes on top of loads of different LED types and beam angles. It just adds more and more part numbers to an ever-growing catalogue.
So it's about simplifying what you have to specify rather than.
Yeah, everything covered in one unit. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you.